Good morning. Hi, sis.
Hi.
We're back together to review lesson 289. This one's entitled, The Past is Over. It Can Touch Me Not. The past is over. It can touch me not. Unless the past is over in my mind, the real world must escape my sight. For I am really looking nowhere, seeing only, seeing only what is not there. How can I then perceive the world forgiveness offers? This the past was made to hide. For this the world that can be looked on only now. This the past was made to hide, for this the world that can be looked on only now. It has no past, for what can be forgiven but the past? And if it is forgiven, it is gone. Father, let me not look upon a past that is not there. For you have offered me your own replacement in a present world the past has left untouched and free of sin. Here is the end of guilt, and here am I made ready for your final step. Shall I demand that you wait longer for your son to find the loveliness you planned to be the end of all his dreams and all his pain? Beautiful reminder that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, which means ongoing right here, right now for us to experience. And that would be our happiness, a forgiven world, a real world. And the thing that interferes with that and prevents us from experiencing that is, again, those triggers in our mind born in the past that we continually, pull forward and allow it to skew our perception, right? Our past definitions, past judgments, our opinions, our conditioning, the stories of mythical me, all of the layers of unforgiveness that we need to undo and to accept that it's not there in truth, and that what we want to see is this option that we have at any moment to experience, which will bring us, which will arise when we choose peace instead of the story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what it boils down to, I believe, at a practical level, is every time I am triggered by somebody or triggered by the body or memories of the past or news of the world,
Mm-hmm.
it's because I am superimposing the ego's past over
Yes.
the present moment.
Right.
And it's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do that, I'm doing it because I want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounds insane, but when I'm triggered, I am projecting the past because there's nobody out there and nothing out there.
Mm-hmm.
I am projecting the past when I'm triggered, right? Um, and the past is fear, right? But the truth is all-encompassing love,
Mm-hmm.
which cannot have an opposite. That is the truth of what we are, right? So when I'm introducing the past, I'm trying to introduce something that doesn't exist, which is fear.
Mm-hmm.
And when I introduce fear, the past, I'm actually breaking communication because changeless love is all that can be communicated because it's all encompassing. There is no opposite in truth.
Right.
But when I bring the past, fear, into my experience and I believe it and then I react to it, I'm actually breaking communication
Right.
with myself and therefore with everyone else. I can't break communication with my holy self without breaking that communication with the sonship and God.
Right.
Right. So it's an interesting dynamic that we use. Well, it's not just interesting, it's downright devastating when we are triggered and we don't realize that we've just superimposed the past, which is fear,
Right.
over the present moment. That's why we need forgiveness.
Yeah.
And then Jesus does say as well that forgiveness and correction are one and the same.
Right.
So divine correction is made when I'm willing to see that what I'm triggered by is actually something that I put there.
Right. That we wanted. And I think that's really what you're pointing to, is that beautiful next piece, that Jesus is showing us, that any selection, when we choose to take the past and bring it forward so that we can look at it and have a reaction to it, it's not about that story. It's not about anything in the world. It's the choice that to allow the mind to go into contraction. And that is the whole point, because once the mind is in a state of contraction, communication, which is our natural state, is eclipsed, right? The mind that's contracted is not open to the state of free-flowing communication, which is sharing, which is love, which is creation. So this communication is the state of God, and it's what we are in our natural state. Yeah. So this is why the ego wants us wrapped up in the past, in the images, contracting down, thinking that they're real and responding, and we'll never see it. It's just my mind is closed. That was the election. That's bring it to the light, expose it, and forgive it. Run at it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're learning to do that.
Yeah.
We're learning to do that, right?
Yes.
And
Get hungry.
yeah, I think a big part of that, learning to run at it at a practical level, is the application of forgiveness.
Yes.
But it's also the application on a daily basis in all our relationships and with everyone we speak to, interact with, is the 7 keys to authentic relating.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We talked about this before, but until we learn to show up authentically, then the past is going to continually be an attractive option to defend ourselves against our present happiness. Yeah. Because our happiness is not in the past. Our happiness is not in the future. Jesus is teaching us that it's here now. And when we superimpose the past upon the present, anytime we get triggered, we're doing that. Yes. Right? We're blocking our present happiness. So, and because we're not being authentic, we're not being true to ourselves.
Right.
So it'd be good to, if you haven't already, beautiful family, if you haven't already got stuck into the 7 keys to authentic relating, start doing so now if you can. And they're going to be just below the video in the resources, quick references or quick resources list or whatever it's called.
Yeah, there'll be a bundle of videos that Daniel has done on authentic relating. So each of the 7 keys there's a deep dive into each one of them. So check those out. Yeah.
They definitely undo the past very quickly. Yeah.
Yep.
But, just a word of warning, they do bring the past up to be seen, don't they?
Oh, yeah. That's
we have to see it first before we're going to be willing to relinquish it.
Right. Yes.
Because if we don't see it and see how ugly it is, we're going to still want to keep it. as a defense against
Right.
love.
And the only reason we wouldn't want to look at it is because there'd be judgment around it. It's always remembering that what you're looking at and bringing up from the past, right? It's an impersonal thought system. It's not doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not your thinking, but you mistakenly identified with it. So that's the running at it. You can run at it, you get hungry for it and you want to see it in everywhere where it's been hiding to bring it to the light because you don't want to be duped by it anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Thanks, sis, for bringing that up, because
Yeah.
I remember in those early years studying the course, I was still sorting out what I believed was valuable and what was valueless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, meaning the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would run at some things, and then I would actively defend others. And I think that as we begin, we
Mm-hmm.
think we can sort it out through
Mm-mm.
the ego filter, but then through contrast learning and hitting the wall, the ego's wall,
Yeah.
we finally come to a place of like a deep positive surrender to Holy Spirit, and just say, you know what, I'm done with sorting out this stuff.
Mhm.
You take over. You
Right.
show me what's valuable and what's valueless. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We're not the one that's doing the process.
no,
So yeah, let it be brought up to your awareness for you. And when it does, it's wow, it's overwhelming. Yeah, to see it all fleshed up for you in the degree that you're willing to see it. Yep.
yeah. But every so-called human will eventually need to go through this
Mhm.
particular eye of the needle,
Yeah.
you know, if they are to wake up from the dream of separation. So why delay it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can say that.
Right.
The earlier years, I was like, I'm having fun delaying it,
Yeah. Yeah. There's still
not
something
realizing
that I
that it's
want.
just
Yeah.
accumulating more pain. Yeah,
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 you have to see that. You have to see that it's seek and don't find and that there's nothing that you want. And you're actually using it to self destruct.
yeah. What a black comedy.
Very, very dark. Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank God the past is over and it can't touch you. Now it's just ours to forgive. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ooh. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining with us. We will see you next time. Thanks, sis.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.